Good evening. Welcome to the 5-8, where we discuss each of the week's 5 most fucked up topics for 8 minutes. 5 topics, 8 minutes, 2 hosts. No guest this week. It's well, that's not true. There's a guest.
There's a guest.
Singing, a lot of curse words, and as many cocktails as we deem necessary. LB, how are you?
I'm a little tipsy. I'm admitting it right at the top of the show. I never drink before the show. It's just not something I do. I rarely drink on the show, even though everybody enjoys cocktails. You're enjoying a cocktail. And it was a really long week. And I was sitting around with my family. And the adults were like, let's make Manhattans. And they were very big and very strong.
That's the way they're supposed to be, you know?
Thank God. And it's cold and it's wet and it's just it's one of those perfect nights. How are you? What's up with you?
I'm good. Yeah. You know, it's been a, again, another crazy week. Like, it's one of these weeks where I make the title of the show. I think I made it yesterday about, called Massy Attack, like Massive Attack, which is a very specific joke for the 8 people that understand it. And, already we've moved on from that.
Oh, that was a world away.
Now, we're a world away from that. We do. I don't know if you knew he signed the bill. Trump did.
He did. I saw that.
Did you see the pictures? They're framing it and they're putting just the front page of it. They're sending it to the Smithsonian. Did you see this?
Stop.
No, there it is.
Oh, look at there it is.
There it is. He signed the bill. He signed the bill himself. It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, God. This is so gross. What a gross moment in our nation's history. Absolutely appalling, all of it. And then we're going to come up on our 250th, this coming 4th of July? And there's going to be there's going to be a cage match at the White House.
At the White House. Yeah.
It's perfect. This is just the whole thing. It's just pornographic on every level, this guy. Everything is just pornographic. I got to say, the Ken Starr stuff in these dumps, how much he loves Jeffrey Epstein, calling him his friend. This was like 2018. King of the pearl clutchers himself.
Wow. It's almost like he has no morality at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a Kavanaugh. It's one removed from Kavanaugh. I don't know if Epstein owns Kavanaugh, but he certainly could have had the dough to pay it.
Listen, maybe there's some illumination there.
Maybe. Could be. Stranger things have happened. Yeah.
He was still talking to Donald.
Maybe
he was the one that was, maybe it wasn't Fuckface's nephew, that mobster from Jersey. That, what the hell? Patty McGann. Maybe it wasn't Patty McGann's nephew, Don McGann, that was floating Kavanaugh's name. Maybe it was Jeffrey Epstein.
Maybe.
I mean, he was very close with Ken Starr.
I wonder if Jeffrey Epstein was on that list. Remember that Judge Kaczynski had that list of
yeah.
Seems like Epstein would have enjoyed those.
Oh, yeah, it was right up his alley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can we look at the mailing list? Is that like a public thing? If JEEvacation@gmail is on there, it'd be pretty.
I don't know.
It'd be pretty interesting.
I don't know. It's getting to be a weirder, smaller, more decrepit, disgusting world of men and who have terrible junk and issues with it. I've had a martini or whatever the hell I had, a Manhattan. We're going to start saying it. I'm going to start saying the bad stuff, Greg. The stuff that's only for our production meeting calls.
Oh boy, this is now. Everybody, tell your friends to tune in.
Tune in.
Yeah, it's always more fun. But I feel like, and we're going to talk about this at the end. This Mamdani going to Washington and conquering it. I was watching these
with his little finger. With his little pinky finger. That was so easy.
I can't fucking believe this is real. This is so good. It made me feel good. Like really feel good now after watching that. But
you found your joy.
We'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about later. Should I put the timer on? What are we doing? Anything else you want to say at the top of the show? Anything else?
I've got nothing to say at the top of the show.
I blurred the background behind me because that's how I feel in my head. And I need to match the blur with the blur here. I don't remember anything that we discussed just a few hours ago about what this show was going to be, but I'm going to hit the timer. Here we go. Okay. 8 minutes. I think I'm up first. What am I talking about?
You're talking about what happened is all these dumps came out. Okay. There's emails and there's stuff from the estate and there's stuff from the Republicans and there's stuff from the office of what there's lots of stuff to parse through and people have been parsing through it. But one of the things that's, I think was a surprise to me was how close Bannon and Epstein were. And this has been kind of reported. I know Michael Wolff wrote about it and there was, sort of hinting here and there. But I didn't really care very much because I don't really like Steve Bannon or thinking about Steve Bannon or Jeffrey Epstein for that matter. So the two of them together is like, it's just not a double feature that I'm interested in. But there was a lot of weird stuff there that was illuminating. So what did you see?
Well, all I could think about was that right at these emails come out and I was immediately reminded of what Michael Wolff, like him or hate him, I don't think he lied about what Steve Bannon said to him.
No.
When he wrote Fire and Fury. So back in 2017, 2018, when Steve Bannon is sitting down and talking to Jeffrey Epstein, because he's got his grievance, right? Steve Bannon is always a man with a little grievance. It's always just about their emotions. They're so emotional, these men. They are so emotional. I don't know. Maybe he was on his period. But he got hurt. His feelings got hurt because Donald got rid of him. I don't know why Donald got rid of him, but he seemed very angry at Jared Kushner. So probably Jared said something. Things were maybe too hot around the Mueller stuff because that's what Steve Bannon was blabbing to Michael Wolff about right at the exact same time that he was spending a lot of time talking with Jeffrey Epstein. And what did he have to say? This is all about money laundering. Trump is going to go down for money laundering. It's all money laundering. I remember that because that's what I was saying.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, here's this disgusting human being spending time with more disgusting human beings. Just one great big gross sausage party, these men. And they finally figure out, oh, it's the money. Maybe it's the money. So listen, there's a guy that's a pretty good analyst we've had on the I think years ago, maybe we had him on the show. And I know him. He's, I would say he's a friend, but it's not someone I talk to a lot, but I definitely shared information with him. We sort of like, back in the time of doing a lot of research and digging into all of the money and the connections and the corruption and the Kremlin and Russian organized crime and blah, 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 blah. Almost 10 years ago now, a man by the name of Dave Troy, who a lot of our viewers will know. And so Dave,
the great Dave Troy. I think
great Dave Troy. Yeah. And Dave's pretty careful. Like he really looks at information. He tries to be as objective as possible. And posts a lot about it. And some stuff can be pretty, it's very verifiable. And other things are his assumptions or conjecture or theories. But he's pretty good analyst of open source information. Pretty good. And so he was kind of just a few hours ago posting, I saw a thread of his. I hadn't seen any of his tweets in a long time. And reminding everybody who Robert Maxwell was when it came to Russian flight capital and money, and specifically money out of the intelligence services, which was all that it was at the time of the Soviet Union. The KGB was also, there wasn't 1 ruble or whatever the fuck they had at that time, like that snuck by that service, right? So in that nation, the way it was run, the way the economy was set up there, the intelligence services were embedded in the comings and goings of the economies, and where resources went, where they didn't go in that communist nation. And that was, if you get into the 80s, the 70s and 80s, you were just looking at the Maxwell book, that time for Robert Maxwell, when he was working with Israel, working with Mossad, working, I think, with MI6 as well. And the U.S. was looking into him and looking at him, our counterintelligence agencies, because there was a lot going on. There was software that Robert Maxwell, this guy named John Towers, who was a senator, had let Robert Maxwell have this sort of exclusive license to this software coming out that the Department of Justice had, that had this backdoor and allowed other nations to spy on, the sort of the secrets within our justice system, our Department of Justice. It was a software program called Promise. That's kind of a side note, but it's integral because it was business that Robert Maxwell was doing that was sort of international business that the U.S. was aware of, selling this software to other intelligence agencies. And one of the big ones was the one that he had the largest relationship with, which was the KGB. He was just best friends with the head of the KGB, as a guy,
as one is.
Yeah. Would show up with these elaborate gifts. I've talked about this before with the head of the KGB. This is in the 70s and the 80s and leading up to his death. Mm-hmm. So Dave is posting this thread because he's kind of pointing out, hey, all these fucking guys were all connected. They were all the predecessors to Epstein and what he got caught doing and the sort of operation he was running. And they all got knocked off in 1991 or fell off the side of boats or, caught window cancer or whatever it might be.
Plane crash. Tower,
yeah. All of this stuff. That was also the year that Larry Summers, this wasn't in Dave's thread, I just want to remind everybody, also the year that Larry Summers, who was all over these emails as well, all over this Epstein dump as well.
So much that he had to drop out of a lot of things and retire.
Had to drop out of a lot of things. So Larry Summers, a former president of Harvard, around the time that Epstein was doing stuff there, just very, very close with Epstein. Even though he was writing some of the emails, he's pretty disparaging of him. It looked like there was a disillusionment or a falling out or whatnot. But in 91, he was head of the World Bank, and Bill Clinton, when he became president, and right after the Soviet Union fell, sent Larry Summers over to work with the Russians to help them set up this sort of capitalist economy. So all of these people, right, all swirling around that time in that era when the Soviet Union collapses and the Russian Federation emerges, and trying to get its bearings. And there's just this, we're talking about one of two big world powers. China wasn't really a big world power at that moment yet. It was the U.S., and it was the Soviet Union, which was now Russia. And in that collapse was just an enormous amount of money that had to find a new system. And the people who were connected integral in that, either that we're these sort of players, are connected to Jeffrey Epstein. Whether they died, whether it was Robert Maxwell falling off the side of a boat, or the former head of the KGB, or the guy that was in charge of all the money there for the Russian Federation, they're all losing their lives, but also connected to Jeffrey Epstein. Mm-hmm. And when you got Bannon, then what? 30 years later, right? Is it 30 years? 30 years later.
Yeah.
Little less than at the time, saying it's all money laundering. It's all money laundering. It's all money laundering about Donald and about Epstein. He's sitting with Epstein, and Epstein writing these emails through the guy in Norway saying, I need to talk to Lavrov, knowing how the Russian system works, having connections and relationships there that seem to be long held, and sort of saying, look, I got to talk to you about this. I've got the goods on him. It's just, okay, yeah, maybe there'll be pictures of girls without their tops on and Donald, maybe Megyn Kelly's dismissiveness of, well, it was just one person he groped to one of these girls. Like, they're acknowledging the depravity and the raping and all that kind of stuff and sort of dismissing it in Trump world and his propagandists. But they, also even looking at that, Megyn Kelly even will talk all this information around the money's exploding and Diamond and JP Morgan Chase and all of this stuff of this, all of the money that this guy had that we don't know where he got it from, that to where he was this sort of, what do they call it? The wall of
cash in these internal communications, JP Morgan Chase, specifically about Jeffrey Epstein. They had their top 5 and he was number 1 of the clients, not necessarily the wealthiest, but the one they were making the most fees off of, the one that was bringing them the most amount of money to do their thing with, because it had to be cleaned and we don't know where it was coming from. And you've got Steve Bannon going, it's money laundering. And no one will talk about the money laundering but me and you and Ron Wyden. People in Trump world would rather talk about that he groped minors that knew Jeffrey Epstein, and maybe there's pictures of half-naked girls, and he probably did all these things. They'll talk about that, but they will not talk about the money. And all we see in these emails is money. It's all money. It's the one thing that Jeffrey Epstein did that Robert Maxwell did not do was make sure not to go fucking broke. Maxwell was just, he went bust because he spent a lot of money and he was careless with it and playing this bank off of this agency and it came back to bite him in the ass. And, when you try to extort Mossad to give you 400 million pounds, you're going to end up floating in the Atlantic Ocean. Probably. So. That was a bad career move. Safra, the banker, was another one that wound up.
Yes, Safra,
who was also good friends with Robert Maxwell.
Very good friends. He burned.
I want to just hit one thing that you said before we move on. You said the flight money, the flight capital.
Flight capital. Mm-hmm.
That means basically the money that's in these, not just Russia, but in all of these Eastern Bloc countries.
Yes.
It's now suddenly being boosted out of there. So Maxwell went into Bulgaria when no one else was there, basically set up shop at the Bank of Bulgaria and parked all of his ill-gained earnings there because he knew the West couldn't get at it, which is very smart. Kind of like a pirate burying something on an island that nobody else has access to, and then hoping that it doesn't get, took. But you're right. But where Epstein's money comes from, maybe the Iran-Contra pot, maybe there's Maxwell money in Bulgaria floating around.
Maxwell money.
Maybe it's all over. Who the hell knows?
Who knows?
It might be.
Maybe it was coming from Donald Trump.
It might have been.
Maybe he was helping to launder all of the money that Donald Trump was trying to wrangle from his Russian, oligarchs.
That's
all that money that Eric said. We're getting all our money from Russia.
That's it.
Maybe that relationship is money based as well. Maybe Jeffrey, just like Ace Greenberg had before, another one of Jeffrey Epstein's mentors that worked with Donald Trump, that knew him well, that was very close with Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't get past the Ken Starr thing. Just as a side note, I'm going to be stuck on that. Seeing Ken Starr's face. Ari Melber did a whole thing with Ken Starr, Jeffrey Epstein, and Alan Dershowitz. And I'm sorry. This is where I'll go back to the minors.
Oh, yeah. Well, anything is possible because the people that are the most self-righteous are often the ones that have,
Okay.
Have apps on their phones that they give to their sons to make sure that they're not caught surfing.
That was Grindr. Mike Johnson? Was that Mike Johnson?
Mike Johnson.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, that's enough.
Moving on.
Let's move on. Sedition. Oh, let's move on to sedition.
I just want to say this is a weird 24 hours for me because I've now agreed with Trump on a couple of things, which doesn't usually happen. He put out this, it's not a tweet, it's a Truth Social, whatever, where he says something like,
a post.
Yeah, it's sedition. These Democrats who are talking, telling to the military people they should be hanged and all this kind of stuff. And the penalty for sedition is death. And I just want to say I'm right there with him. I think, yes, I'm not a big capital punishment guy, but I think for treason, I'm fine with it. And I think you want to have capital punishment for sedition? Great. But let's figure out what sedition is and what it isn't, because it's kind of two different things. If you're an asset of the Kremlin and you're like fucking over the United States secretly and doing shit that the Kremlin wants you to do to hurt and harm Americans, that's sedition. That's what sedition is,
Sounds about right.
If you're having members of ISIS into the Oval Office,
oh yeah,
maybe that's sedition. If you're inviting the Taliban to Camp David, that might be sedition. These are all enemies. And then you're inviting the guy who killed the journalist and also whose royal family kind of maybe was involved with 9/11. You're rolling out the red carpet for this guy. Again, maybe possibly sedition. I would say demolishing the White House is sedition. How is that? How is that not an affront? And J6 was absolutely the fuck sedition. By like dictionary definition, it was an insurrection against the United States government led by Donald Trump, instigated by Donald Trump. So
planned
by Donald Trump. So if we want to play the game of let's hang all the people guilty of sedition, be careful what you wish for, Donald, because the actual definition of what it is isn't maybe what you think it is. Sedition doesn't mean, enemy of Donald Trump. Sedition means enemy of the United States of America. And they're two very different things. So,
yeah.
Meanwhile, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Meanwhile,
the members of Congress who are talking about this and are being accused of sedition and all, and every time he says this, there are crazy people that want to go try to kill all these people.
Yeah.
All they're saying is they're putting out a word to the military. Hey, don't obey illegal orders. If the order is illegal, it's okay to disobey an illegal order. You can't be ordered to do something illegal. That shouldn't be controversial. It shouldn't be controversial. There's nothing controversial about that. Hey guys, don't break the law is not controversial. But Donald Trump is making it.
Yeah, they're suckers and losers, and they need to stay suckers and losers. And so, right? That's what's happening here. He's freaking out, and he freaked out and is calling for the death of acting members of Congress who have served, whether they served in the CIA, whether they served in the military, who are saying, who have expertise, as each person who takes an oath should have this basic level. You don't have to follow an illegal order. He wants his suckers and losers following his orders, no matter what. That's why they're suckers and losers. So how dare anybody suggest that these are men and women of honor? That's all I could hear while that was going on. It's like, give me a break. We forget all this stuff, right? People forget because this guy, what his gift is because he's absolutely focused on the immediacy of right now and the pull of that, and like what I need to say right now. And it doesn't matter anything I've said before. It doesn't matter anything he's going to say to for if you're him, anything I'm going to say in the future. None of it matters because nothing is. He has no honor. So there's nothing concrete around him at all except his corruption. Right? So it's constantly just putting the thing out there that serves the moment. And which is in the moment is always him. That just serves him in the moment. So it's he's so strong in that, his energetic pull, that still, what are we now? 10 years into this guy, right? And I know that we have a lot of legacy media that is just bought and paid for and captured and whatever, right? By our own, Jeff Bezos kind of folks. And so they're all whatever, there's a lot of thwarting going on in the news. But I also think it's like in that moment, nobody knows what to say to him. Just like in that moment, no man on that plane was capable of saying, that's enough to him when he called a woman journalist piggy, quiet piggy. Like that no person, man or woman, stood up for her and also just said to him, that's enough. Stop right there. I would have sent him to his room. Go to your room. How dare you? Why can't no? Because his thing, right, of whatever he's doing right there in that moment, people just fall apart unless you're Mamdani.
Right.
They just fall apart.
It reminds me of the the McCarthy thing.
Oh yeah.
Welch said, "Have you no sense of decency, sir, at long last?" Like that was the moment, I think, of that. That was
the spell
the
break.
Equivalent of him saying, "Go to your room." It's gone too far. How dare you? And that's what we need. Certainly the people in that plane on the press. What are they going to do? Throw you off the plane?
Well, maybe they thought he would. I had that thought, Greg. I'm like, are they afraid he's going to open up the door and just order the Secret Service to start tossing people out?
If he opens the door, he's going to be. Poof, I saw a Goldfinger. It doesn't end well for him, for the guy. He's going to be grabbing on with those tiny hands. It's not
His little tiny hands aren't going to save him.
Sucked right out into the tarmac. And speaking of,
yes,
I don't know. Speaking of the president,
yes.
We have a very special guest.
We do.
We're going to introduce now.
Okay.
He is both the 45th and the 47th president.
Yes.
Of these United States. He is a former reality TV star and a 7-time bankrupt. And let's give a good 5-8 welcome.
And an adjudicated rapist.
And a felon.
NFL.
He's a lot of different things. So let's give a warm 5-8 welcome. Yeah. Mr. President, good evening.
Good evening. Yeah. Piggy, snort. I'm so happy and everything's so good. Everybody's fat and ugly and I'm beautiful. How are you guys doing tonight? You doing good? Did you get some McDonald's food?
I didn't get McDonald's. You eat that all the time, yeah?
Yes. Well, not today.
Not today.
Was it BK Day? Was it Burger King Day?
It was my steaks day. I still have Trump steaks.
Oh.
Probably not so good. It just occurred to me that Donald is in the name McDonald's, and I never thought of that before.
Oh my God, I didn't either.
I was like
branding,
8 years old.
It's all about branding.
Yeah. If they made it Burger King Donald, you would go.
Probably. Yeah.
Donald
King. Yeah. No. No, it has King on it, and I'm the king.
Right. Yeah. So we have a couple questions we want to ask you.
Great. I hope they're good. Be nice. Don't be rude.
No, we're going to be nice. I was thinking about, I know it's been a while since the Alaska thing and since you met with Putin in person, but I was wondering if being so much taller than him physically made it harder for you to kneel before him and kiss his ass. Does the height discrepancy affect you in any way?
No, actually, I'm so, he's actually not very, he's not very short. It's deceiving. I can't say he's actually really my height.
He's your height.
He might be watching right now.
I think he's not in your pocket. You're not in his pocket. He's a pocket Putin. He's a little.
I don't like that.
You don't like that?
Okay. Next
Gary,
question,
that's scary. Next question.
Please.
Okay. Why aren't you dead yet? That's my question. How are you still alive? You eat McDonald's.
It's all about genes.
You don't.
I'm not a
Genes? Your
piggy.
dad, are you demented then? Because you got the dementia genes from your dad. Your
Dementia?
mom, didn't your mom croak early? What happened with your mother?
She
How
was a
are
lovely
you
lady.
alive? I want to see
I
your ear. I don't think that bullet hit your ear.
Your ear looks perfectly. Look at that ear.
Yeah, look. Yeah.
It grew back and it grew piggier.
What?
Looks
Yeah,
like a butterfly
I
wing.
don't.
What are you talking
I
about?
don't understand what's wrong with Mother Nature when it comes to you.
I'm gorgeous.
You're, Roy Cohn thought so, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys see that movie? That's a great movie. Wait.
I saw the movie. I think now on Amazon Prime, The Apprentice now.
I came out looking like $1 billion or $1 billion or $1 trillion or all of the bucks. Whatever.
I thought it was about the most sympathetic way you could possibly be, portrayed. Which is, again, it's a work of fiction. Yeah. So,
well, the important thing is I was taller than everybody.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel about your son Barron being taller than you?
I sent him to El Salvador.
Yeah, we haven't seen or heard much from him.
Is that a study abroad program through NYU, or is he going to CCOT?
CCOT, right away.
Okay,
yeah,
CCOT, yeah. So instead of one roommate, he has like 1,000 roommates. Okay.
Yeah, and it's gonna be, like I went to military school. I don't like to talk about it very much, but this is kind of like that. So,
I guess prison and military school, very similar, I suppose.
Very similar, very tough. Lots of tough hombres out there. Hombres.
Yeah. Donald.
I guess they're tough hombres. Here's a question for you. You have a lot of people in the cabinet that I would say are interesting characters. Charitably, I would say interesting would be the word I would use. Who's your favorite member of your cabinet? Remember, Stephen Miller's not in the cabinet. He doesn't count.
I know. It's actually, I think Marco Rubio.
Little Marco.
Why is that?
Because he was so different so many years ago, and now he's basically the ambassador to my ass.
Yeah. Oh, God. Well, in so many, I have a cabinet question too for you. So many of your members of your cabinet have connections to foreign countries hostile to the United States.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Wouldn't have it any other way. Who's the biggest spy in your cabinet? Who's the biggest one?
Spy? I would say we call them very observational. And,
is it Tulsi?
Observant. And
observant.
Tulsi's an idiot.
Yeah. Tulsi is an idiot. Let's just think about that, because you made this sedition claim, but let's just think about, you've got the guy. Who was the guy? These are the people who work for you, right? People you hired. Who was the guy, Greg, that had all or Donald, maybe you know. I mean, you do know. But who's the guy that we found out was like from Russia or working with Russia?
That was Sergio Gore. Remember? Sergio.
Yeah, that's right. Sergio. My good buddy Danny Scabs just got engaged, and he replaced Sergio.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Your cat.
Yeah, that just happened.
Yeah, and then we know Tulsi Tulsi is connected to foreign powers, and she's got all of her things. So there's a little bit of sedition right there, right? There's a little bit of traitors right there. What about Hegseth? How drunk is he?
Hegseth is he's a strong young man. And,
what are we going to do about his tattoos? If those, did he influence this whole thing with the Coast Guard saying we're not going to have hate symbols anymore because he didn't want to take the tattoos off his body? Because does he have?
That was all Stephen Miller.
That was all Stephen Miller.
Hegseth and Stephen Miller get together sometimes, and I don't want to tell you what they get up to. That's classified, but it's gross. And that, for me, that's saying something.
Yeah, I didn't know you had an ability to a barometer for that. Speaking of Stephen Miller, I heard a rumor, and I just want you to confirm if it's true, that the entire reason that you knocked down the East Wing was to dig a crypt where the bunker is so that when Stephen Miller sleeps in his coffin, he's closer to the White House. Is that true?
Ooh.
That's an excellent point. He's actually a daywalker.
He is. Okay.
Yes,
Oh.
he's figured that out. He's also got good genes, and I've got good genes. And we go down to do gene splicing, and that's what we're doing. We're going to populate the Earth with our clones.
But
That's
are
like
his kids
Jeffrey
even his,
Epstein.
or are his kids his, or are they Elon's?
Yes.
Oh God,
If
help
he knows,
us.
he's not saying. So, Donald, one last question before we release you. What are you going to do for Thanksgiving? Because I don't know. I think from what I understand, your family really doesn't want to spend any time with you at all. So who are you going to spend Thanksgiving with?
Probably putting everybody in El Salvador for one, and then I think I might. Let's see. I don't know. I think I might have some Burger King.
Oh.
I
wish you many heart disease. I wish you heart disease, some heart attacks, maybe an aneurysm or two.
I'm sensing some rudeness.
Oh, well, I am a woman, so that's hard for you. I know.
Yeah. Are you a Democrat?
Am I a Democrat anymore?
You're all in the Epstein files.
I'm in the Epstein files.
Yeah.
Oh,
did you know
the
that
last
I was
person
a
who
Democrat
tried to
too?
suggest that is now in prison, so I'd be careful.
Yeah. Well, Donald, we have one thing to be thankful for, which is that you're old and not feeling well, and
I'm trying to get to heaven. You're not helping.
You're not going to get to heaven, but the one thing I have to say, before we dismiss you, I don't really want to give you the last word, so I'm just going to say it flat out, and I'm going to say it. Quiet Piggy. Oh, we quiet piggied him. We quiet piggied him.
You
Boom.
quieted that pig.
Boom.
You
Boom.
sent that piggy away.
Yeah. That was, of course, the great Chunk. Yeah.
The great Chunk Gold.
I love
he
that
has
shit.
He has his toys that he likes to play with. And we are more than privileged to have him on playing with those toys.
After a certain point, I kind of forget that it's him, and I think it really is Donald in some
I know.
weird way.
I was like, oh, it's Donald. Oh, it was hard.
It's a strange thing. So, okay. Here we go. Moving on.
Yeah.
Those words mean peace plan in Russian.
Oh.
So, yeah. I don't know. And people are, by the way, before we go on to the next topic, people are saying Marjorie Taylor Greene has announced she's resigning from Congress.
I just saw that flash across my screen.
Mm-hmm. So,
wow.
I don't know why. I don't know if she's going to be the president of Truth Social tomorrow or have give her shares in this media network. I don't know, but
maybe she's found some joy. I mean, she does look, we were talking about this earlier. It looks like she's been released from something. I think,
it's the end of the zombie movie where they're like, oh, wow, what happened?
Yeah, it's like that. Or the Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Mostly she stopped doing all the political theater and that sort of depraved version of it that she was really helped sort of usher in an era of doing things like walking up to a poster of Donald and pretend you're groping it and sticking signs places. And even before she got into Congress, following around the Parkland, survivors, the kids, and harassing them, info wars on the street, basically.
Yeah. Not good. Not good.
So it's something about the Epstein, her getting behind that, however authentic that may or may not have been, it's just like her face changed. Like she like looked softer. Like it just like she was actually doing something that wasn't performance, this depraved performance, as if, and I don't know.
Didn't she try out for American Idol or one of those shows?
She's just a
They're all. But
I'm sorry, they're just all pieces of shit. I'm
sure
sorry,
she'll
guys.
come back.
I've had my Manhattan. I'm not going to pretend this is a person to. This is a terrible human being. It's just a horrible human being.
I mean, to do that to the Parkland people is pretty unforgivable.
It's just awful. I just did see there was a shift in her, and now she's got to get out of there. So
it may be also that she's reading the writing on the wall. Now, the one thing about Marjorie is that she's a very big fundraiser, and she is on the pulse of the real MAGA, that America First bit. And maybe this is her sensing that the winds have changed, and that
maybe
on drop off is going to die, and we're going to move on into something new, and she's got to position herself.
Maybe she's going to do a Tucker and just sort of go into independent media and make a fortune.
That could be. Tucker doesn't seem very happy.
He doesn't seem. I don't know.
Except when he's joking around with JD Vance. I mean, that's adorable.
Oh, yeah.
Adorable.
Platforming the Nazis.
I ship them. I ship those two. I ship them, as the kids say. What
does that mean?
Ship is short for relationship, and it means I like the coupling.
Oh.
Yeah, I ship them.
I don't know this.
You don't know this? Okay.
No.
I don't know. Sometimes you got to get down with the patois of these kids.
I know. I'm not. I'm not at all. I wasn't when I was a kid.
Yeah. No, I don't know. You know what 1488 means, but you don't know what 6'7" means, because no one does.
No, I don't.
I don't. No one does. No one does.
All right. So that's that little announcement. Let's get back to the Russian, the Cyrillic at the scrolling across the bottom of the screen here.
So just some notes. This whole business with Ukraine, I mean, just to review, okay? It's just basically Russian aggression since 2014 when they went into Crimea. And they do the thing like, oh, it's the same thing Hitler did in the Sudetenland. Oh, the people here speaking German are being oppressed by the government. We have to go protect them, and then we'll have them vote. And it makes it seem like it's okay, but it's just a fucking invasion. That's all that it is. So they occupy Crimea. They kind of take over Crimea. Crimea is a place where a lot of these, it's a resort place. It's like the Jersey Shore of Russia, right? So there's DACAs are there. All these retired.
It's warmer. It's warmer than the rest of it.
And the economy is based on tourism, so they want people to go there with money, and they don't want war in Crimea. That's not what they want. They just want to hang out at the beach and have a good time. That's what Crimea is about. And so they take Crimea, and then they're starting to do the thing in the east as well. And if you look at a map, it's just the Dnieper River comes down, and they're trying to get this entire part that's on the I always get east and west mixed up. On the eastern bank of the Dnieper, they want to just take that whole thing all the way down to Crimea, so they have the Black Sea outlet, right? So they have a warm weather port for the Navy and all that shit. That's all that it is. It's just to launch military invasions into other places, and everybody's pretending that it's not. All Putin needs to do to end the war is get the fuck out of Ukraine. It's very simple. And he should, because there's already been treaties that have been agreed to recently that he's just violating right now. So the idea that we need to go to this guy and talk to this guy and appeal to this guy about, please, Vladimir, let's do the peace. It's bullshit. He's not going to agree to it. Even if he agrees to it, he's not going to abide by it anyway. This is a total fucking waste of time. They send this Steve Witkoff guy out there. So maybe
a real estate guy.
Yeah, if you're trying to negotiate, a better rate for the mortgage for your 3-bedroom on the Upper West Side, probably he's fine. But dealing with he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And all these peace plans, every one we've had is basically just give Putin what he wants. And it's like, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. And Trump, again, has signed off on this. And what I read is threatening to withhold weapons and intelligence from Ukraine unless they agree to the peace plan, which is, I know we keep harping on this, but Kremlin assets. That's Kremlin asset shit. That's all that it is. It is inexcusable. There is no way to spin that other than he's Putin's puppet, and he's going to do whatever Putin tells him. Period.
Yeah.
There's zero reason to do this that helps the United States at all. The way to help the United States is arm the fuck out of these people and have them shoot missiles into Moscow. And everyone's afraid of the nukes. You know, Putin's like, we're going to have nuclear war. No, we're not. You people can't even have toilets that flush properly. Come on. Your nukes, they're from 1945. We think they're still functional. And even if they are, why are we going to let this one little motherfucker hold the whole world hostage because he might nuke something? It's ridiculous. He's been destroying the country in Ukraine. He's been killing old ladies and babies and bombing hospitals and all the shit that Bibi's doing in Gaza, he's doing in Ukraine. Our friend Zarina is out there in Kherson risking her life every day to document this stuff about the drone warfare and all this horrible shit. And Trump acts like it's not happening. That's not what needs to happen. They need to get out, and Putin needs to step down and go to The Hague. And until that happens, war ain't over. You know, you want the war to be over? I need Putin at The Hague or dead. You know, you give me the corpse, we'll end the war. That's it. There's no negotiating.
That's kind of a good slogan about like you give me the corpse, we'll end the war. Yeah,
give me the corpse.
These leaders, it's all these men,
we'll end
these
the war.
horrible men. There's like one or two of them.
And what we need is what we have needed for a while now is the Europeans to wake up and realize that America, as currently constituted, is not coming to help, and they need to get their shit together, which they're doing. The Germans are doing it. The French have been doing it. The British have been doing it. Boris Johnson, of all people, was leading the.
Boris.
I couldn't believe it when it was happening, and I think this has now come to pass because what's going to happen is if Putin gets his way here, he's going to invade Poland. He's going to lean on the Baltics. He's going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing until somebody takes his bony ass out. That's how these people operate. It's always how they've operated. And to think otherwise is an exercise in futility. Read Molly McHugh. She has a new post about all this today.
Oh, I can't wait to read Molly. Yeah. I didn't see that.
But you know, but this is my opinion now. You know,
this is your opinion. Now, you told me something about this sort of peace plan that somebody looked at the syntax of it.
Oh,
and
right.
Yeah,
it was run through Google Translate. That's what they're saying.
It was written in Russian originally.
It was written in Russian. Because people are like, this doesn't make sense in English. The syntax is weird, but in Russian, it makes perfect sense. So which is funny to me because that used to be one of my jokes on Twitter. Like, 7 years ago, I would retweet like Lindsey Graham or somebody like that and say, sounds better in the original Russian.
Yeah.
That would be the joke, just like,
and this,
this literally does sound better in the original Russian.
Well, I mean, it makes more sense in the original, but it's always going to sound terrible because it's a terrible plan. The thing about that is should also jar everyone is we're talking about the president of the United States who has access to anybody he wants to help him translate any document he desires. And will do it better than anyone in the world to where you can't see this. And the clown show that is in there now, some probably handed it to Stephen Miller or some staffer and just said, translate this for me.
They
just ran it through
This has Jared written all over it.
It's just
the lazy Google Translate is the Kushner way.
It's so Bush League. Whatever is worse than Bush League? What's underneath Bush League? What is more amateur?
Bush League?
Oh, that was good. Yeah, Greg Olear.
Yeah.
All right. That's my only take on it. We only had 17 seconds left. We are flying through this show. I love it.
We're flying through the show.
It's time for announcements.
We're off next week. That's the announcement.
We're
not doing a show. We're having Thanksgiving. I have a lot of people coming to my house.
That's exciting.
I hope that, Trump's going to pardon a turkey and probably a couple of Russian mafia guys.
And Ghislaine Maxwell.
Oh my God. That would be, oh shit. That would be the day to do it. The Friday after
turkey.
Thanksgiving.
That's the biggest turkey he can find.
Oh,
He's
she'd be
gonna
gone
pardon
before
that big
anybody
ass
even.
turkey.
Yeah.
Now listen, I'm gonna have a kitchen sink. I have a kitchen sink now. Oh, just in case we haven't said this, as we are just doing a big project here.
You are.
But I think there'll be a stove. I think there'll be floors. There might be a refrigerator. This is where we're at. This is also why we have big gas Manhattans at the end of the week, because it's
Dare
like,
to dream. Dare to dream. Yeah.
Dare to dream. Anyway, I want to say to everybody, I think we're broadcasting on Substack. Is this happening? What's happening with
We're broadcasting on Substack. Now we've revived, and it's taken a while. We've revived the 5/8 Substack page. And
have we really revived it, or are we just broadcasting simultaneously? I haven't touched it, and I think I'm the only one.
Because we're broadcasting simultaneously. So what I'm going to try to do, we're going to try to keep doing this, okay? And maybe we'll alternate between this page and my page because, people are watching. People, hi Jen. But we'll try to, when pages don't get updated, they fall dormant. We're going to try to undormant it, and every time Chunk does another one of these animations, I want to try to give it its own Substack page, just so it's there. Everyone can go find it afterwards and stuff like that. So we're going to try to be better about that. And then when we do after hours here, we will simulcast to the Substack page, but under the paywall. So you can sign up at either place, and you'll be able to see the after hours, which is the primary.
Oh, that's neat. Okay. So you don't have to, we want everyone to subscribe here. So hit subscribe, but you're saying there's another place.
Either way, if you want to subscribe on Substack, if you want to subscribe here, you don't have to do both. You're going to get the benefit either way. That's where we're going.
Okay.
I had another idea today, but we'll see.
We talked about this. This was a dream, and now you're making the dream come true.
We're making the dream come true because we had a meeting with we had a meeting with the Substack people.
We did have a meeting with the Substack people.
We did. It was a meeting.
It was a productive meeting, apparently.
It worked. I'm like, there's this loud noise happening.
I just can't remember it.
There's this loud noise happening in my office, and it's just the ice in my shaker collapsing.
Collapsing?
Yeah.
That's nice. So that's a happy noise.
It is a happy noise.
That's a happy noise. All right. We've got one top. Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. We got one topic left.
We have one topic left. I was going to move on.
Yeah, that's me too.
Oh, here we go. We're both segueing. Boom.
Now, you haven't seen this, okay?
Okay.
I watched this. And my jaw, I didn't think it was possible for me to be more surprised. So just for, let's see, hopefully this will work. Okay. Just for, posterity.
Oh, God.
This city of ours that we love to do very well. And I wanted to congratulate the mayor. He really ran an incredible race against a lot of smart people, starting with the early primaries against some very tough people, very smart people. And he beat them easily. And I congratulated him. And we talked about some things in very strong common, like housing and getting housing built, and food and prices, and the price of oil is coming way down. That anything I do is going to be good for New York. If I can get prices down, it's good for New York, and we've got them down, way down from last year. We have, as you know, I've been saying to a lot of people, Walmart said that Thanksgiving this year is exactly 25% less than last year. So that's good for New York, good for everybody. But I just want to congratulate. I think you're going to have, hopefully, a really great mayor. The better he does, the happier I am, I will say. There's no difference in party. There's no difference in anything. And we're going to be helping him to make everybody's dream come true, having a strong and very safe New York. And congratulations, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Did he say Mr. Mayor or Mr. President?
Mr. Mayor, thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate it. I mean, and it goes on like that. There's lots of
I heard some of it. I didn't see it.
Mamdani shit. And at one point, somebody in the press asks him to try to stir up trouble. Hey, Mamdani, you once said Trump is a fascist. Do you still think that? And Mamdani sort of, he's trying to do a more diplomatic. And Trump just goes, just say yes. It's okay. It's easier to just say yes. And he pats him on the arm like they're old buddies. I couldn't believe what I was watching. Like it really blew. I didn't think it was possible for me to be surprised. Trump clearly likes the guy,
He likes him.
wants in because he's the fucking mayor of New York now.
He's the mayor of New
not
York.
Not only that, he's popular. He is the cool kid.
This is it. Yeah. So to me, it was two things. There's history there with Donald always wanting to be in and close and connected to the mayor of New York. Chuckle brought that up as Piggy Donnie, the movie The Apprentice, which I just watched. I hadn't seen it before, and I watched it recently. And
on Prime. Everyone should go watch it.
On Prime. And, it's his relationship with Roy Cohn, who's Jeremy Strong is brilliant. Oh my God. It was creepy how good he was. And a lot of it is just the fluffy version of what that relationship was all about. But in there is absolutely Donald's, in that time period, his sort of passion and vision for who he could be as a New Yorker and what New York could be with him. His identity was very fused with the city because he was this outsider from Queens, right? And wanted in. And Roy Cohn gave him that access. It was all about having access to the politicians. And, Koff was coming in as a new mayor. And it was like, what are we going to do with this guy? And it was all in the true story behind all that. Being connected to the mayor of New York was a big deal for young Donald, the developer. That was the primary relationship that was necessary. And so here's this young mayor who's a winner.
He's a winner, period.
He's a winner, period. And one of the things that and a New Yorker, he went right into the belly of the beast, as you labeled it.
Yeah.
Right? In Mamdani, and he went right into the White House, and he just New Yorked Donald Trump.
He did.
And it was like, Donald was like, oh, he's New Yorking me, coming in and confronting me and being like, let's do it, right? With this sort of winning, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere, truth about himself. So I saw that. And then I think Donald is really pissed that nobody offered up the word affordability to him.
Yeah.
And that was that word. I'm running on affordability and I'm going to win on affordability. And just that concept, it's sort of like Mamdani figured out the semantics to put into the moment to capture the people that Donald cares about the most because he's never fully gotten in. That was in that movie too. Of like it did all this stuff in New York and they hated it even more, right? Like everybody wanted the sleazy Times Square, but the Midtown back. They didn't want this sort of grand vision that this guy was coming in as a young outsider and trying to force onto the city and through corruption and other means, always through corruption. So that word affordability, and that Mamdani figured it out, and Mamdani ran on it, and it worked big time.
Big time. He won.
Big time. I think Donald wanted that for himself.
Oh,
yeah.
Because he won. It wasn't
come up with that. He just keeps talking about it's going to be great, better than ever, blah.
Affordable.
All he had to do was come up with that. Word, and nobody gave it to him.
I mean, just to reiterate, Mamdani won. He had 1 million people vote for him in New York, which is the first time that's happened since I think 1968, and won over 50% of the vote. And it was a trouncing. It was a mandate style election.
Yeah.
And it's just a wonderful and him going there, and Trump just sort of kowtowing. It's like there was a part of the interview where they're talking to the press where Trump says he's going to make New York great again. And he says something like, and I think it can be great. And the way he says it, like Trump is 99% of what Trump says is complete bullshit. But every once in a while, he says something that he really means. And that's something I think that he really means. I think Trump is a New York person and has that thing.
Yeah.
And if he
loves that city, he does.
You know what I'm talking about. It's a thing that you have. Giuliani tapped into this better than anybody. I remember there was a New Year's one time where they I think it was after 9/11. It was like the New Year's after that. And they were like, well, are you going to make people not go to Times Square on New Year's Eve out of a precaution? And he's like, 100,000 people are going to show up in Times Square. If I say don't come, there'll be 200,000. And he's like that. And he got it. You know, that whole vibe. Giuliani got it. He understood it. And Trump gets that. He gets that.
Yeah.
And now Mamdani is he's piloting that subway, you know? And
yeah. Listen, New York is glorious. It's the greatest city in the world. It just is. And it's just of course I'm a New Yorker now, but my parents always were, you know, like coming from that. And it's something to marvel at, New York. It's a little miraculous that it exists the way it is, and all the promise that's there, and the ambition at the beating heart of it, but also the arts, and also that incredible move to make that grand park right in the middle of that city for the people of that city. It's a city of immigrants. You can't, you know, it's the most vibrant expression of America that we have, and that the whole world, you know, could witness and come and see. You got to anybody all over the world, and you want to come to America, they want to come to New York, right? It's a big deal. So I think, Florida just isn't the same.
It's really
it's
not.
just
I remember when we did the event in New York City, I walked from the hotel to the place, to the KGB, and I heard 12 different languages spoken just on that walk.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the thing. It's just all these people, sea of people, and Mamdani has them, you know, and it is a thing, and Trump gets it. And that's why in that thing, he's not subservient like he is to Putin or to MBS. But Lord knows, but you know, I think it looks like, and as many people pointed out on social media, this completely fucks up all of their advertising.
Yeah.
They were going to demonize this guy, and their leader just gushed over him, slobbered over him, fluffed him in front of the entire press corps. Yeah.
Entire press corps. I really hope that this is the nail in Elise Stefanik's.
Oh, she's fucked.
I hope this is the end of her, because she was going to run on, you know, calling him a terrorist. Yeah.
Can I say it about her?
What?
I can't say it.
Don't say it. Now you've had the Manhattan.
I'm not going to say it.
Don't say it. I don't know what it is. Maybe you should. I can't stand her. But I
was going to say the words that Trump said. The words that Trump said.
Oh, quiet. Yes. We can just tell her to be quiet.
Both words. So, okay, real quick, more things that we just needed to note that we need to kind of track. Eugene Vindman, who is the twin brother of Alexander Vindman, who is now a congressman, was there with Jamal Khashoggi's wife, and there's some sort of tape of MBS and Trump that he's trying to get released that's apparently damning about Khashoggi's murder.
Wow.
So that's going to come out at some point. We're going to hear about that. I mean, God, I wrote about the fact that they had duty to warn before I even was on Substack. That was on Medium in like 2018. There was shit going on. Kushner almost certainly knew. Trump almost certainly knew. They did
Kushner
not warn.
1,000% knew. There's no doubt.
It's illegal for them not to tell him. So they're complicit in that murder. They just are. And then the other thing is that Mike Huckabee, speaking of the Robert Maxwell book that I read, Mike Huckabee Mike Huckabee, who is the ambassador to Israel for some reason, met with Jonathan Pollard, who was a U.S. citizen in naval intelligence, who just boosted so much shit out of there and gave it to the Israelis that, as you've noted many times on the show, we had to arrest him and try him and imprison him for a good long time. And now he's back in Israel, and Huckabee's there talking to him for some reason.
Well, he's very close with Netanyahu, Pollard. Big surprise. And I'm sure that was Bibi doing that. But I mean, talk about a traitor. Oh my God.
Really a bad traitor.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
Do you know how they stole it? You know how they stole the Promise software? Do you remember? Because this is great. This is like a scene from a movie. So Promise is the software that was developed by I think his name's John Hamilton, who was working for the Justice Department. It was
sort of. It was it was a couple that developed it.
Right. Okay.
That actually did it, and they under contract with the Department of Justice, I believe, in Hamilton, and the deal was
the name of the,
this was a big lawsuit. The deal was that if the core software that wasn't was still, where was the ownership of that? What was the name? Now I'm like
Inslaw.
Inslaw. Thank you. So that was supposed to stay with Inslaw. The attorney for Inslaw at the time, I believe, was Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Yeah, get rid of that. Okay, so everything goes around and comes around. So basically, but it was a like a 1.0 version of this.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy, what's his name? Rafi Eitan.
Rafi Eitan, who was Jeffrey Epstein's handler,
comes to the United States undercover, okay, as an Israeli businessman, to meet with, to get a presentation about this thing through the department. I think either Justice Department or DOD. It doesn't matter. One of the agencies.
One of them, yeah.
So, and they think he's this professor or something. So they go and meet with him, and he sees this thing, and he's like, "Fuck! I can take this, and I can modify it, and holy shit, we could be everywhere and listen to everything all over the place."
It had a back door; they could spy on everybody. We could license.
He immediately saw the potential for it in a way that was not being used here.
He saw the spy potential.
Yes, and he's like, "We got to get this." So he goes back after the thing. He goes back to the place and meets with the guy at DOD or DOJ, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And the DOJ guy says, "Well, do you have did they give you a copy?" He's like, "Oh, my God, you know what? I forgot I left it there." And he's like, looks at his watch and he says, "I guess there's no time to go get it. Now I've got my flight." And the DOD guy goes, "Oh, here you go. I have one." And he just gives it to him. And he says, "Compliments of the Department of Justice." And he puts it in his briefcase. Off he goes. Just like, it was like a scene from a movie.
Yeah.
This guy played him so good. And then he took that back. They reverse engineered it, broke it down, modified it, added the back door, and then sold it to everybody, all over everybody. Yeah, and we're all still paying the price for that. So anyway, I just thought that was a fun story.
Yeah,
fun
And
story.
the underpinnings of that software, what it also allowed to do is it was for closed networks, but it allowed then closed networks, if you could open them up, to create an opening to where they could communicate with one another. So it was literally the predecessor for what became known as a World Wide Web. And that Maxwell had that, and then his daughter Isabel ended up sort of writing or being part of a company that was one of the original search engines.
Magellan.
I don't think Magellan. I don't think that's a
coincidence.
No.
Ghislaine Maxwell was one of the, if there was being a wall of cash for Reddit, she would be on that wall. She was a huge Reddit user, apparently. Yeah. Which is, I don't know what that means. Maybe she was just bored.
I don't either.
I don't know.
Greg, can you do an updated blog? I think that this is a question from the folks. I think they mean a Substack on Inslaw. We could all just read Octopus.
Or the Robert. I read the Robert Maxwell.
The Robert Maxwell biography.
That book is amazing. It's amazing. I was like, I couldn't put it down.
It's a great read. I read that. Yeah. That's what I read years and years and years ago. That had me go. I think this guy, Ari Ben Menashe, knows some things because he was the main source of that book. And sometimes he's credited and sometimes he's not. But you can kind of tell they just really relied on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, for most of it. So you got to take that also grain of salt, But I do think the stuff
they had a
about
lot of
Leibovitz, all these other things. Yeah, there's documentation where you could track down some of what they did, and they certainly verified what they could. Those two authors.
Yeah, it was really well done.
Yeah,
they also were very sympathetic to his wife, which I liked.
Oh, yeah.
They were very much like this guy was an asshole.
Yeah,
like you could tell they were like this.
She was French, right? Wasn't she French royalty somehow?
I don't think she's royalty, but yeah, she was
connected to the something
and very capable. He could have used her better. Dumbass. Yeah, stupid.
Yeah, he was a horrible human being. Yet another horrible human being.
Horrible.
Oh my God, Greg.
Yes, LB.
We need better people around us because the only way we're going to get through this is with good people around us. So,
but we do have good people around us because all the people.
Okay, well then we're going to get through it.